I just wanted to show you the difference between the two so I can, because what I'm about to show you right now is going to make more sense now that you know that if you have a company driver, it's going to cost you more up front. Whereas if you had a leased-on operator, you're taking on less risk. And that's really important year one, year two of your business. Okay, so to show you guys this, this is an example of how most people calculate growth and the results they think they will receive. Okay, so most of us, and even myself when I started a business for the first time, this is the way that I thought. So, let's just say that at the end of every week that you're predicting that you're going to get $2,000 from each truck. Okay, this is your gross income. Forget about like how do you split and what the profit is. I'm just showing you. You've predicted, you have done your numbers, and you've calculated that as long as you make $10,000 each week from all these units, and just so you guys know, this is a fake number. All these numbers that I'm doing with you in the sense of, for example, they're just fake, and I just like to keep it simple. But I think the lesson behind, you'll see the lesson behind it, and you'll see why, what I'm trying to get at. So basically, this is how we all think when we're starting a business. We're like, look, I'm going to have 5 trucks. They're going to be running these days, and as long as I get $2,000 from each truck, I'm going to get $10,000 a week. I'm perfect. This is a lot of normal thinking. Okay, this is very, very normal. Now, let me show you how planet Earth actually works. Okay, so let's start with Monday. So basically, Monday, great. Everybody went out there. So this is this. So just to go back, I'm keeping the exact same days, and I'm shooting for the same predicted amount. So I'm predicting that each truck will give me $2,000 at the end of the week, and I will make $10,000. And with my $10,000, I have estimated that this is what I need to succeed. Okay, and this is normally, again, how people plan out businesses. But going back to how planet Earth actually works. Monday, everything goes great. Tuesday, truck 1 is good, truck 2 is good. Tim calls in sick. No revenue for truck 3. Truck 4 and 5 are good. Wednesday, truck 1, we had a load issue, had to pay damages, only $200. Didn't get that $400 that we were looking for. Truck 2 is doing great. And then Tim's still sick. He's still out Wednesday. Truck 4 is doing great. Truck 5, short trip, only $250. Next Thursday, same thing, except $200. On this truck, this day, we only got $200. Had to pay unexpected hotel room for the night. The vehicle broke down. The other trucks did great, but the last truck, truck 5, only had a short trip. Right? So we're on Thursday right now. Short trip, $250. Friday, truck 1, $0, pending a repair invoice. Truck 2, $400. Truck 2 is awesome. Ace. Whoops, going back here. Oh, sorry, you guys. Sorry about that, guys. So Friday, we're still pending an invoice. So this truck's not doing anything. Truck 2 is doing amazing. Friday came in. We got exactly, we wanted 2,000 is what we were looking for. Truck 3, Friday had a short trip, and truck 4, another great trip, and truck 5, another short trip. So at the end, you calculated in your business, okay, in your model, you predicted that you're going to get 10,000, okay, 10,000. However, this week, you only did 7,800. So let me show you those results. So for week 1, your required income was supposed to be 10,000, but you actually only did 7,800, meaning you're short, according to your budget, $2,200. You're short $2,200. Not only that, but you have a pending invoice for the repair for the truck that's at the shop at the moment. So this right here, this is very much normal in a business world. Now, of course, you're going to have great weeks as well. Of course, you're going to have better weeks than that. I'm just showing you that's what happens. And, the growth, even if you're growing, it doesn't just go like this. It goes like this as you're growing. You're always going to have situations that are going to set you back. Always. It's always going to happen. There's always something that's going to happen because we don't live in a perfect world. We don't have perfect machines. And ourselves as humans aren't perfect. So the mistake is going to happen. And this is why it's important to grow the correct way. You want to be here for the long term, right? You don't want to do this just for a little bit to close the door and have to sell all the equipment. So that's not the purpose for this, right? So let me show you another example. Okay, another example in a different route that can possibly help you out in growing your fleet. So let's take a look at a leased-on operator. Now, I left everything the same as the final week, as the last week. Everything is the same as far as trips and people calling out sick and there being a breakdown. So everything's the same. We had the issue with the load. Whoops. So everything is kept the same. The only difference is you are working with leased-on operators in this example, and your budget is less. The reason your budget is less is because now you don't have a truck payment and you don't have an insurance payment, or at least you're participating. The leased-on operator is participating with a good chunk of their insurance payment. And again, this is all in your contract. It works out in your numbers on how you pay. You got to figure out the middle of how you're paying somebody to make this work out, because nobody just wants to pay for the insurance just because. They have to get a little bit more of the pie to make this happen. Okay, so everything's the same as far as the trips that you ran, right? Because the trips, you're going to get the same rate per mile in the sense of this example. Okay, the rate per mile is going to be the same. So the only difference is, again, you're paying less. So you only need $7,000. Well, with the same example, okay, with the exact same example, you only need $7,000, and this week you only brought in $7,800. $7,800. So watch this. So with the leased-on operator, you only require $7,000. You made $7,800. Same example. Truck broke down and everything, and the loss for the week is 0. You might not have one truck working next week because it's the mechanics, but you don't have an invoice on your desk. And again, this all has to do with the contract. Maybe you participate in a percentage of maintenance, right? But at the end of the day, you don't have a $2,200, or excuse me, at the end of the day, you're not out $2,200. Like if we go back to the other example. So in this example, right, when you own all the trucks and they're company drivers, you're out $2,200 that week, and you're pending invoice for repairs, right? In this example, you actually profited $800 with the same ugly week. You profited $800 and you don't have a maintenance bill. So you cut cost on a truck and insurance payment. However, the purpose is not so much to save money, rather spread the risk so you can keep more money in your pocket during the volatile years while you are learning the business. And that's really it. You need to learn how to spread that risk. So earlier, I was saying how you're taking on, if you have a company driver, you're taking on the full financial responsibility. You are. And that's really tough year one. And I know we all want to grow and we want to do it fast, but if you have it's like this. If you have cash, okay, or you have cash flow coming in from somewhere, then you are okay to have company drivers. In order to have company drivers, you require extra cash. Just so you know. Yes, you get a larger chunk where they're company drivers. You're right. You take home more. But your risk, when you take a hit, oh my goodness, you're taking it 100% on your own. And if you don't have that cash flow to sustain those hits, because you don't know what's going to happen next month. And you don't know if Tim, after he's been sick, he quits. Now you need to look for another truck. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's very common that you're going to take these hits. So you can't say, oh, no, I'm not going to take. No, if you have company drivers, you need to have cash on the side, period. Okay? If you have leased-on drivers, you need to have less cash on the side because they're taking the risk with you. So you guys, I know this was just a small example, and I know that the figures, in the sense of like per load isn't there, right? But I hope this makes sense. If you're going to bring up, and this is really for any business, if you're going to bring up, if you're going to pay people on W-2, you better have the cash for it. That's really it. If you're going to bring on a leased-on operator, and even if you pay them on W-2, so let me take this back. Whether it's W-2 or 1099, they're splitting the risk with you. So you are much safer, in other words, bringing on a leased-on operator. There's pros and cons, of course. I'm not telling you shouldn't hire company drivers. I'm just telling you, do you have the cash to afford these hits? Right? If you want to take the larger percentage, because with the lease-on operator, you have to understand, you're going to be giving more. You're going to be giving more commission to them, right? You're going to be giving more per load, right? But you're also taking on less risk, and that's what's important. It's not necessarily like that you're saving the insurance payment. it's that you don't have that risk. Or I guess it is that you're saving on it, but it's not like you're like, oh, here's my savings for the month. Rather, no, I don't have to worry about that. If something were to happen to this truck, I'm still in business because that's not my truck. I don't have to find a driver for it. That's somebody else's problem. Now, at the same time, you want to work with your leased-on operators. You don't want to leave them hanging. They have to do for you every now and then. They have to do, bend backwards, and sometimes you have to bend backwards for them. That's just part of the employee boss relationship, and vice versa. Okay, so I hope this one helps you guys a lot in the sense of like you can see why it's important to have cash if you're going to have company employees, and whether going the leased-on driver route is going to be better for you when growing your fleet.